Hello, listeners. Welcome to Stories from Starry Skies. I'll be your host for these journeys that we're going to take. And for this first video, I wanted to kind of introduce the channel, kind of let you know the sort of things that I'll be doing here and the background behind why I started this channel. I'm in the process of writing a book, the very beginning processes, and I have all of the main characters in my head, most of the settings, kind of know where I want to go with this book. But I'm finding as I start to organize it that more and more characters are popping up. And they're characters that I need to move the story forward, but I don't really know those characters as well as I do the main characters in the story. So, I need to find out about those characters. And I need to see what they're like. And as I think about them, more and more stories start to spin off of this main narrative plot that I have in my head. There's stories that don't necessarily have anything to do with the main book, but they're important for me to get to know these characters so that I can write them well when they do show up in the story. So I figured the best way to get to know them is to start to talk about them so that we can get to know them better together. So I am just starting to explore these characters, and they may go into some unexpected places depending on the stories that I tell. But they will all have one thing in common, that there is a huge life-altering event in their future, which is going to be the subject of the book. So you can kind of think of these as prequels, but put in their proper place in the timeline, since you will be hearing about them first. My goal is to make these stories character-driven, obviously, since that's what I'm trying to develop. But there will be a little bit of world building as they inhabit the same universe as my main book. For the most part, I'm going to be making up these stories as I go along. I will usually write out an introduction, first few lines to get me going. Then I'm just going to hit the highlights of where the story needs to go and make it up here with you all listening in. So you're going to be part of this kind of raw creative progress. The other thing I hope is that I will improve my storytelling over time. So some of these stories may be exciting, others may be sweet or sad or romantic, or maybe a little risque. I'm not sure yet. Some of them may not really go anywhere, just kind of a stream of conscious of me working out a character. These stories will be spoiler-free for what's going to be in the book. I am going to be talking about these characters well before any events in the book happen. So, while the stories will be interesting, hopefully they will whet your appetite for learning more. I'm not going to be telling what's happening in the book. I kind of know where I'm going with it, but it's not anywhere near done. These stories are a lot more low stress telling. getting me to inhabit the world myself. My inspiration for starting this channel was also a radio show that I used to listen to several years ago called Music from the Hearts of Space. You may have heard about it. You may have listened to it. But it was a very laid-back, late-night show that played a wide variety of what was called then New Age music. So I always enjoyed being in bed, having the lights off, just letting the sound of the music wash over me and the sound of the host's voice. It was very chill, very relaxed. So I want to do something similar for you all. In my head, I kind of have these as late night tales that you can listen to in a darkened room as you lay in bed, or as you're sitting inside looking out the window at the night sky, deep, deep into evening, so that you can get lost in the stories and get lost in the stars. I want to take you to a different place and time and help your mind focus on other things. Now, I will never run video ads on this channel so that you don't have to worry about being surprised at the beginning or the end or the middle with some loud advertisement that's going to jolt you awake. And there's not really going to be any reason to watch the screen either. I'll have like a star field up or some sort of slow moving graphic. But the point is to help you drift off to sleep and or just relax, take your mind off of things, lower your heartbeat, lower your breathing, slow down, but also occupy your mind with a story, something that will help you get lost someplace else. You could also have these stories on in the background as you're working or studying, maybe doing something tedious. Just a voice to keep you company. That would be my goal as well. So I'm excited and I'm a little bit nervous to take you on this journey with me. I don't know exactly where all these stories are going. I know the characters in my head. I know their names. I generally kind of know their background, just enough to get me started to talk about them. But I'm excited to see where this goes. And then hopefully fold this knowledge into my book to make it a more well-rounded and crafted piece. So expect a story once a week, and I definitely welcome your feedback in the comments. Let me know what you think. I hope that this works as a tool for relaxation, escape, and sleep, which I know we could all use from time to time. So thank you so much for listening, and I will have the first story up in just a little bit. See you there. Bye.